Hey there, everybody, and welcome to Fearless Thinking, a podcast designed to help you navigate authentic leadership and the entrepreneurial journey. I'm your host, Michael Devous, and these are my thoughts, lessons, and insights from my entrepreneurial journey into coaching, workshops, motivational speaking, and of course, what I picked up from interviews with inspiring leaders and entrepreneurs along the way. My mission is to help people unlock their untapped potential by using fear as a catalyst for powerful change and growth, so they can step into the greatest version of their most authentic selves. All right, let's get into some fearless thinking. It's me again, everybody. Welcome back. Episode 55. It looks like I recorded it twice. You know what? So I'm going to put both of them up. Episode 55, part 1, and episode 55, the duplicate or the repeat or the whatever. That's what I get for not paying attention to the work that I've already done. It was already done in the can. It just hadn't been produced yet. So you get two. That's two things in one. 2 episodes in one. Episode 55. Done from 2 different perspectives at 2 different times in my life. So yeah, there you go. It's a twofer. Enjoy. Bye. Hey, Fearless Thinkers. Welcome back to the Fearless Thinking Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Devous. This is episode 55. We've had a bit of a hiatus for the month of August. Sort of an unprepared or unplanned, if you will, vacation from production specifically. I don't know if y'all are aware, I moved to Colorado Springs. So our new location is now here in Colorado Springs. I'm loving it up here. It's a beautiful town, beautiful people, really fascinating, interesting city with some really incredible events and things happening, which I'm very excited about, especially the ones that will support the Ascend Hub, entrepreneurs, and hopefully some of my workshops and motivational speaking. So I'm very excited about that. I've made some really great connections and just met some incredible people that I'm very excited about in order to turn these dreams into a reality, which brings me to episode 55, the urgency of dreams, why delaying your entrepreneurial journey costs you more than time. Now, it's interesting because I've jumped into some of those Reddit conversations and threads, the entrepreneurial thread. There was a young man in there who, it's clear that he was young and he was trying to start his own business, but he also had the opportunity to go to school, and it would be paid for. So he was looking for advice as to whether or not he should take advantage of it. And of course, my response was 100% yes, you should, because the cost of doing it later rather than the cost of doing it now would be so much greater. And it's not just the amount of money you would have to spend, but it would be the opportunity cost in terms of your time, and the value of that time increases as you get more skills, gain more experiences, and more knowledge. So I was all about jumping in to get on that now, right? But to align his studies and leverage his studies to maximize his impact and benefit in the area that he was interested in for his entrepreneurial journey. If you've ever had one of those dreams that you just keep putting off, telling yourself, you'll get to it someday, or you'll work on it later, or, I'll take my time writing it down and journaling about it. Dreams don't just happen. They don't just come to life. I mean, you've got to put the time in, and I'm here to tell you that someday never comes. In fact, what's interesting about what you tell the universe when you do that, and I guess it's a form of procrastination, let's be honest. You're telling the universe, you're actually inviting the universe to insert other things into your schedule, insert other things and opportunities into your plans. Because what you've done is you've said, well, I'm putting it off, right? So that means there's space and there's room now for other things to come in. And since you haven't defined what that is, and you haven't spoken this intentionally, then I'll talk about living with intention in another episode, I'm sure. But when you fail to identify what you're headed towards, when you don't specify what you want on your game plan and in your agenda and what your to-do list and your wish list to the universe is more than happy to bring you a ton of other stuff. Some good, some bad, most random, that's just going to fall into your path and distract you yet again from starting on that journey to make your dream happen. And every break that I take, this is a quote, by the way, every break that I take is a dream getting further away from me. This is a quote from Shark Theory, Baylor Barbie. I don't know if you've listened to his podcasts, but they're great. They're very short, but they're very intentional and they're very good. There's lots of great nuggets in there. But I love that comment of every break I take is a dream getting further away from me. It's like hitting the snooze bar on your life, right? I'm 100% guilty of this myself. I struggle constantly with distraction disorder. I just made that up. I get distracted by so many different things because I have a lot of interests. And those interests take me down rabbit holes. They take me off on tangents. And yes, and somehow in my brain's like, oh, this is going to be valuable if I keep pulling on that thread and keep chasing it. And sometimes it is. Sometimes it's just for my own edification and my own education, so I can learn something new. But to be honest with you, if it's not really focused on that dream and getting that dream, as I say, moving the needle of progress forward, then is it really beneficial? I think if you set aside time for that kind of distraction and you're focused about it, meaning that it's intentional and, Friday afternoons between 3 and 5, I'm going to give myself 2 hours to just, search and go down rabbit holes or whatever. You may need to create a rabbit hole list. You may need to create that for yourself. I have an ongoing to-do list, which is actually an event on my calendar that repeats every day. And I just open it up and keep adding bullet points and items to it. And then I add those to my AI and make notes about what I need to do and explore ways that we can brainstorm further with some of them when they come up. Some of them are ideas for shows. Some of them are ideas that actually provide me with support and help in building the Ascend Hub, or with workshop ideas and things like that for my motivational speaking. But if you create that list for yourself, that procrastination list, whatever you want to call it, give it a name if you want to, that rabbit hole list, it's there for you, right? It has the links you're like, oh, I'll save that link because I just found something interesting on Google about X, Y, and Z. Put it in there. Save it on your rabbit hole list and let yourself venture, but don't do it every time it pops up, right? Don't allow it to throw you and derail you from your focus and your attention at the time that you're doing it. This is why, one of the things that it took me to get back on course with production with the show was all of the things, yes, we had the fires, and that was sort of part of the decision to move. I'd been wanting to move to Colorado Springs for a while, and it felt like this was the best moment to do it, but it did come at a cost to me, monetarily and time-wise and production-wise. It did come at a very swift moment of change, and I just wasn't able to give my time to the show during this period. So I forgave myself. I told myself that's all right. Start back up at the end of August. And go into the fall with this new season. And I stepped back into it, realized I hadn't finished the last week, which was episodes 51 through 55. And I finished through 54, but I didn't do 55. So here I am doing episode 55. Now, we all procrastinate sometimes. As I said, it becomes a real craft and a skill set to build your distraction disorder. But when it comes to our dreams, right, procrastination can really be costly for us. It can lead to lots of missed opportunities, lost momentum, and increased self-doubt. It's like watching a train leave the station while you're stumbling for your ticket, right? I'm going to speak to a few of these things specifically. Missed opportunities. One. Okay, so when you procrastinate, and I firmly believe this, let's back this up. When you announce to the universe that you want to do, have, or become something other than you are today, and that means you're an entrepreneur stepping out onto the road, bringing your dream to life and bringing impact to the community with it, you have now invited from the universe many opportunities to make that happen, including ways for you to grow including opportunities for you to step up and step in, including opportunities for you to open your eyes and learn something new and adapt, right? But the minute we procrastinate, we're telling the universe, you could put the brakes on that because I'm really not serious about it. Or, hey, here's another area that I'm interested in. Throw me some more opportunities and distractions where this is concerned. It's very true. The energy that you build up and set up for yourself in the world and the universe, when you talk to the universe, when you announce to the world and universe, God, if you will, that if you pray to God and that's your thing, Allah or whatever, and you ask for support and help and guidance on your journey as an entrepreneur, your spirit support, your support systems, be they spiritual, physical, ethereal, they will send you the energy that you need. They will start working in the background to align a lot of the things that need to come together for you to be successful, but you have to do the work and step onto that path, and you have to stay on that path and progress forward on that path towards those things to allow them to continue to fall into your path so that you can actually achieve the thing that you said you want to achieve, right? So there's your missed opportunities, lost momentum. This is a big thing for me. When I get thrown for a loop when something pops up in my life, torn calf muscle, I get sick for 3 days, COVID, fires on the ranch, it didn't used to be this way, at least not that I remember. I could get back up and running within 3 days, tops. It now takes me 10 days to 2 weeks to really get back on track with my momentum. And I don't know if that's an age thing. I don't know if that's a mental thing post-COVID, the long COVID situation. I never had long COVID as far as I know, but it doesn't mean that my brain wasn't affected. I had a really bad illness this past spring that took me out for an entire month. And it took me forever to get my brain back up and running. And now I find whenever I get thrown off, it's 10 days to get back on target and on track, both mentally, emotionally, physically, all of those things, all of the above. So yes, lost momentum. And then the other one is increased self-doubt. Now here's why I think this is interesting. I've talked about this recently actually with a friend of mine and in another meeting that I had with some folks. When you take action on parts of your life, and that could be anything from going to the gym and taking care of yourself, meeting with your friends to have dinner, making sure you make your appointments on time, setting up your doctor appointments and not skipping them. All of the things that you do for yourself, where you're first and you matter, when you put those on hold, when you set those aside, when you take them off your calendar to make room for somebody else who you value more than yourself, you are building your integrity. Or better yet, you're actually tearing it down. What you're doing is every single time you compromise your own personal integrity for self-care and love, you are telling yourself you're not valuable and you're not as important as these things, as this person, as that meeting, as this job. And there are times when you're going to need to do that, but be very, very clear. Your brain remembers and your mind maps it. And so over time, when you continue to do those things to yourself, you are undermining your own integrity and thereby increasing your self-doubt. Because when it comes to big decisions, when it comes to stepping fully into that role that you said you want to have to become, your brain goes, now I recall you did not actually complete steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 this past month when taking care of us. I recall you moved all those meetings for your yoga off to the side so that you could go do these 3 things. Well, your mind remembers, and that integrity chips away there every single time you do it. And it opens up the opportunity for self-doubt because now your brain says, I don't know if you're actually serious enough to do this. I don't know if you're actually capable of pulling this off. I don't know if you're actually committed to making and seeing this through. Self-doubt, right? So rather than building all those things up and if you can realize that these are the costs of our procrastination and distraction disorders, be very, very cognizant of what those choices mean for you so that you're not left holding your ticket as the train pulls away from the station. So the power of now, actually there's a book out called The Power of Now. Y'all should look that up. That's a very fascinating book about understanding that there is no past, there is no future. There is only the now. And it's a very fascinating examination of space and time and how we perceive it and why we spend so much of it, our current allotted of time, either reflecting on the past, worried about the past, using and leveraging and leaning on the past, or with our heads in the future, not here, not in the now. And the time to act on your dream, though, is now. That's when we got to strike while the iron's hot. That dream is valuable and important to you and to the rest of us out here in the world. We want to see you make it happen, not tomorrow, not next week, and not someday, right? Someday, which we already said, someday never comes. The world is constantly changing, and your window of opportunity, which, by the way, when you announced you wanted to become an entrepreneur and bring this to life, was the moment you made that statement, was the moment you took action on that road towards that dream coming true, right? So your window of opportunity might not be open forever. But think about that. The window of opportunity you just stated you wanted to have, yes, you might have some things, but it might close. Certain doors might just, disappear from you, a road of opportunity. Certain windows just might shut. And you didn't even know it because you took your eye off the prize. You took your time and your attention off of the dream and got distracted. So one is take the first step. Nothing tells the universe you're more serious about taking action than action. If it doesn't have to be perfect, right? It just has to be done. Just get it done, right? So take that first step, identify what that actionable step is towards your dream, and then do that. If you are struggling with that distraction situation, if you're just struggling with procrastination, I have on my calendar, which I've adjusted many times to try to find the perfect thing. I struggle with my regimen. I struggle with sticking to very specific times of day to do specific things. My mother used to do this for me when I was a child. I don't know if your mothers did this for you, but my mother had a clock, a timer, right? That she would turn on, and she would say, you got 30 minutes to do this project. You got 30 minutes to watch that TV program. You've got 15 minutes to do these exercises. You've got whatever. She had me on a timer because my hyperactivity, and I'm sure at the time was probably ADHD, was such that I couldn't sit still and focus for very long, but she knew that I could, if I was given a task with a time limit, that I could watch the ticker, that I could push my focus into those 30 minutes and get something accomplished. So if you're like me in that, and you struggle in that area and you don't know where to do it, give yourself like Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I will take one action step, one specific action step to move things forward. And then as that grows, and as you see some benefit from that, you can move those things around a little bit. If it's every day for you, then fine. Do an action step every day. If it's not, then you may find yourself feeling overwhelmed by the obligation to try to complete that thing. And keep that to-do list in your little calendar thing that, the distraction list that I have, the to-do list on my calendar. Every morning, 8 a.m., there it is, the to-do list, and it keeps getting added to all the time. And it's interesting because I keep crossing stuff off as well. And I have a long list of stuff that I've actually crossed off. So I can look at it and go, well, I've accomplished a whole hell of a lot in taking my first steps, right? The second is to build momentum. Small, consistent, and ongoing actions can lead to big results over time. This is the thing that like I've said, I struggle with being consistent. I struggle with staying on top of it. And part of that's because I'm my own boss. Part of that's because there's no one else driving this train but me. And I do a lot. I accomplish a lot. I have a pretty high bar. But I love a good coach. I love having an accountability partner and somebody to help me stay consistent with my actions. And if you want to build momentum and you want to build those consistent small actions, you might consider getting an accountability partner for the area, the project that you're interested in, the dream that you want to focus on, that can help you stay focused on those deliverables and keep that momentum going. Nothing tells the universe you're more serious about that momentum and building success than staying with it and keeping those actions and that energy headed in that direction. Third is to invest in yourself. All of this is an investment in you. All of this is an investment in your time, your attention, your energy, your skill sets, your learning, your mind, your perspectives, right? Your experiences are valuable because you're investing all these things in yourself. So learning new skills, connecting with mentors, there's your accountability partner, a good mentor, and surrounding yourself with people who actually believe in you. That's an investment in you. Also, compassion, right? Taking time to take care of you. Like I said earlier on, when you're pushing off those meetings with yourself, whether that's going to the gym or taking care of your laundry or whatever it might be, that's investing in yourself, right? You're telling yourself, I value you, and I'm doing this to care for you. So remember that that's also an investment. And if you want to keep your commitments to you, then that you've got to keep those things on your calendar and honor them. Honor yourself where you're at. You know, if you need to take a break, you need to back up. Like me, this August, I was like, I just can't keep up with the show and all the other things I've got to do and move to a new city and start over again. So, yeah, I had to honor that. And I'm honoring that, number one, by telling you that I did it. I didn't keep up with it. And I'm not saying that's a mistake or an error. It's just, it is what it is. But I accept it, and I'm honoring it by acknowledging that it took place and that I made that choice to do that. It's not anybody else's responsibility but my own. And lastly, those are the 3 steps. 1, take action, right? Take that first step. 2 is build momentum, and 3 is invest in yourself. And whether you do it with, like, you're listening to this podcast, you want to get coaching and mentoring, by working with me or working with somebody else, or if you join a local group like 1 Million Cups. I recently joined 1 Million Cups. I'm really super excited about this. I don't know if you guys know about it. Kauffman Foundation created this. There's chapters all over the world in almost every city. Every Wednesday you join with other entrepreneurs and like-minded individuals who come together to share their experiences as business people and as entrepreneurs. And you get to know people. You get to network. Like, it's genuine and it's meaningful, and I think it's valuable. So check out 1 Million Cups. If joining something in person is not your jam and that's not your thing, the Ascend Hub, which launched this month, we're building that space out right now as we speak. We are designing and developing all of these spaces and areas to support entrepreneurs, which include mindset and motivation, marketing and sales strategy, finance and funding, strategy and development, sales, you name it. We're building it in there. And I'm working with a number of different partners. I'm very excited. I'll be making announcements about that very soon, that are coming on board to help us flesh out the offerings, partners that will bring additional resources and guidance and structure and support to the members of the Ascend Hub, cross-pollination, collaboration on different types of workshops, as well as partner subscriptions. So some of our partners have subscriptions to their own either apps or platforms, and we'll be able to, once you join the Ascend Hub, you'll be able to have access to some of those as well. Limited access, I imagine, but still more than you would have gotten if you just try to do it alone. So these are really exciting things. And if you need that community, you want that help, you want someone to watch you and be accountable, your accountability partner, or you just need to listen to others who are going through the same thing that you're going through on their entrepreneurial journey and glean some insights and some tips from them, then take that step, join the Ascend Hub today. There's, information and links in the show notes. We offer those tools to help entrepreneurs turn your dreams into a reality. And I'm very excited to be a part of doing that. I'm not perfect. I'm not the best. This is probably not the most amazing platform you'll ever be on, but we're striving to be good at being there for you, and being available to make those things happen, to connect you with the right resources and the people. And if it's not me, if it's not the Ascend Hub, we'll send you on to somebody we know. We'll send you on to a better partnership or group or community that really is in alignment with where you are with your business model and with your launch. Because I am building those relationships, and I do have them, and I can speak to them and I can say, hey, you're much better suited over here. Why don't we just move you over? And because I have that relationship, they'll let you in, and we can tee you up for success that way. Nothing would give me more pleasure than to ensure that you as an entrepreneur succeed. That may or may not be with us. It may be a temporary time with the Ascend Hub. Maybe one-on-one with me or another person. Doesn't matter, as long as you're successful and as long as you're happy and as long as the world is receiving your gifts. That's really all that matters. So yeah, don't procrastinate. Get your you know what in order. Take that action step. Build your momentum. Invest in yourself, right? And build that integrity, right? So don't let your dreams gather dust. They're important. They're valuable. Join the Ascend Hub if you can. And yeah, have an incredible week. Have an incredible day. And enjoy yourself. And I'll be back with the rest of the season's episodes every week. I'm going to get on it. That's my commitment to me and to the show and to you, my listeners. So, all right, have a great one, guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.